Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Okay, guys, welcome to UnPontificated. My name is Vuyo, and as you saw, the Parliament of Canada opened up yesterday, and there was Mark Carney, our Prime Minister, in his first session. And tomorrow, or today, actually, we're going to have the throne speech read by King Charles. King Charles and Queen Camilla are in Canada. And yeah, so it's going to be, I guess, a little bit exciting to see what Mark Carney does. He said by July 1st, he's going to have the tax cut for the middle class done. We shall see. We'll see what he's going to do. But we all know that, he had this letter sent out to his cabinet that these are what we are working on, these 7 items. And this is what you need to talk about. Stay in your lane. Anyway, that's really exciting stuff. So, yeah, today we're going to have the throne speech read by King Charles. And I just wanted to kind of pontificate today about this. We are a constitutional monarchy. That's what we are, which means we have the head of state being the monarch of the day. Today it's King Charles III. He's our head of state. And then we have their representatives. So we have we have Mary Simon, who's the Governor General, and each province and territory also has their lieutenant governors as well, who also represent the monarchy provincially. And while I do like the fact that we're a constitutional monarchy, I like the fact that this differentiates us from the U.S. The U.S. considers themselves a republic. They had their Revolutionary War where they kicked the Brits out, and they're a republic. We are a constitutional monarchy, and this differentiates us from the U.S. And I like that. That's good. However, what I don't like is the waste of money that we have with the Governor General and the lieutenant governors, especially the lieutenant governors. I believe it's a total waste of money. I think that needs to be scrapped, and let's get on and let's just because they're basically just figureheads. They're basically just there to do the will of the government of the day. So I mean, what is their purpose? Why do we have them? So here's the Governor General. This was written by Franco Terrazzano in 2024, talking about salary of the Governor General. She did receive a nice raise of $11,200 in 2024, the third pay bump, driving a salary this year to $362,800. Okay, so that's how much money she makes, and then of course she has. This says the Governor General's salary has increased by $60,000 or 20% since 2019. So she's had a nice salary bump. And she also, where's the Simon's travel has sparked multiple controversies, including a nearly 6-figure in-flight catering tab during a week-long visit to the Middle East and a $71,000 bill at Ice Limo Luxury Travel during a 4-day trip to Iceland. I mean, wow. Anyway, you guys can read this, but you can see how much waste there is, the Governor General. And, this one here that I found, this one just shows expenses incurred by the different lieutenant governors, all in different provinces. You can see here Ontario, British Columbia Lieutenant General, $110,000. Now, these are just expenses. This does not include their actual salary. You can see travel and accommodation, hospitality, the way they receive someone. And then here's operational and administrative, and then the total. So very, very expensive that these governors general and lieutenant governors make. Now, what do they do for us? Well, here's the role and responsibilities of the lieutenant governors. And we have, I believe, 13 of them, 10 provincial, 3 in the territories. Their role and responsibility, right? So the King of Canada, His Majesty King Charles III, is the official head of state and is represented in the provinces by the lieutenant governor. Therefore, the lieutenant governor is the nominal head of state at the provincial level, empowered with the responsibility of representing the king in the province. However, the real power of governing resides with the premier and the executive council, elected members appointed as ministers of the crown by the lieutenant governor on the recommendation of the premier. So basically, the premier in the provinces does all the work, takes it to the lieutenant governor and says, here's who I want, and the lieutenant governor just signs off. The lieutenant governor will not say, is it lieutenant, lieutenant? I've heard both. I'm going to say lieutenant. Okay. I can say lieutenant. Well, at least in my experience, has not said, no, you're not going to have this minister. You're not going to have that minister. Here. The lieutenant governor is the representative of the crown in the province and exercises the monarch's powers and authorities with respect to the province. In the early years of Confederation, lieutenant governors were agents of the federal government and were expected to advise the provincial government as to the intent of federal legislation and to ensure that provincial legislation conformed to that of the senior government. Over the years, however, with the gradual increase in the authority of provincial governments, the lieutenant governor's role as a federal agent has virtually disappeared and is now focused primarily on their responsibilities as the sovereign representative and chief executive officer of the province. Isn't it time, guys, to get rid of the lieutenant governor's position? It's a total waste of money. It is just they're just a figurehead in there to sign off on bills, to sign off, to give consent. Yes, look at this. The lieutenant governor gives royal assent in the monarch's name to all measures and bills passed by the Legislative Assembly, except on the rare occasions when reservation is considered necessary. The lieutenant governor also signs orders in council, proclamations, and many other official documents before they have the force of law. Right. So all they're doing is signing bills, signing this, signing that, saying yes to this, proroguing, blah, blah, blah. They're doing nothing that can't be done, one, I think, by the Governor General as the head of the federal, head of Canada, total head of Canada, representing the King Charles, or just send the bill to King Charles. Just email it. He signs it, send it back. You know, this is not 1867, it says. Under Section 9 of the British North America Act 1867, the monarch is the Canadian head of state and thus the monarch of Canada. Fine. Well, we're not in 1867 anymore. We don't need representatives. Now we can just send bills off. The guy signs it, it comes back. Quick. We need to find ways to get rid of waste. And the lieutenant or lieutenant governor position is waste, total waste. The governor general's role, which is fine, which is they have constitutional duties. The governor general acts on behalf of the majesty of the king to uphold our system of responsible government as commander in chief. This one is like almost the governor general is the commander in chief of Canada. In the US, the president is the commander in chief, which makes more sense. Which makes absolutely more sense. that you have the person who's running the country, who's going to tell people to go to war, who's going to sign off on these war bills, be the person who's the commander-in-chief. But here, Mary Simon is our commander-in-chief. How does that rate? The Commander-in-Chief of Canada, Governor General, plays a major role in recognizing the importance of Canada's military at home and abroad. The Governor General represents Canada at home and abroad and carries out the duties of the head of state on behalf of the sovereign. Through the presentation of honors, decorations, and awards, the Governor General recognizes those who have had a positive impact on their communities and on Canada and encourages others to be inspired by them to follow in their footsteps. The Governor General fosters unity by bringing Canadians from all parts of the country, from all walks of life, together in common cause. Okay, the responsibilities of the Governor General have evolved over time, along with the evolution of Canada as a sovereign and independent nation. In 1947, letters patent signed by King George VI redefined the powers of the Governor General. These letters patent authorize and empower our Governor General with the advice of our Privy Council for Canada and any members thereof, or individually, as the case requires, to exercise all powers and authorities lawfully belonging to us in respect of Canada. Since then, the Governor General has daily and fully exercised constitutional duties on behalf of the head of state, not only in Canada, but also abroad. As per the letters patent, the Governor General is also Commander-in-Chief of Canada, which is absurd. But anyway, the Governor General, like I can see, if we're a constitutional monarchy, then okay, so you need a representative here in Canada. You can't expect the king or the queen, the monarch of the day, to be flying to and fro to all other constitutional monarchies that are out there. It'd be difficult. So getting a representative is fine. And so I still think that it can be made. If you got rid of the Governor General, we wouldn't miss her. We wouldn't miss her at all. Because I mean, how many of us could even name Mary Simon as a Governor General? I mean, so if we did get rid of her, we wouldn't miss her. I understand having her for convenience, but like I said, we have emails as far as signatures are concerned, no problem. Do we really need her to do some of these duties that we have here? The Governor General represents Canada at home and abroad. Do we need her to represent us? I don't think so. We represent ourselves. I mean, she's Canadian too, but presenting honors, decorations, and awards. Like really? Fosters unity. Do you need her to foster unity? No, you don't. So $360,000, as well as other expenses that she gets, not necessary at all. So we have, King Charles has come, and that's nice. It's nice to have him here. And I don't know if I'll listen to the whole throne. I'll probably listen to the throne speech and make a comment on it because I'd like to, it's interesting to see what Mark Carney has put in his throne speech and see where he goes from here. So far, he's been doing a lot of, phone calls and I see him there on Facebook, on his Facebook page saying, I had a nice phone call with this president, had a nice phone call with this prime minister, had a nice phone call. In the meantime, we need to see you running the country and making some changes to what your predecessor, Mr. Justin Trudeau, did, because we need investment back in this country. We need to grow our GDP by being productive, not by importing immigrants and refugees. Properly grow our GDP. Okay, so It'll be a nice photo moment, I'm sure, for Mark Carney. And King Charles reads the speech. And yeah, so what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the governor general position? What do you think of the lieutenant governor's position? Lieutenant governors positions? I think they can be scrapped. Scrapped. Let's save some money and pay down our debt. I saw when the speaker we have a new house, so we have a new speaker, and I've seen this kind of thing when the speaker is let him, he kind of resists. When the speaker's let in, he kind of resists, like he doesn't really want it. It's kind of a tradition of the house. This guy is Liberal MP Francis Scarpalegia. The Montreal area riding of Lac Saint Louis. I did a little bit of research into why. I kind of wanted to know why do they resist? Why do they resist? What's the problem? And of course, AI here, Google AI, tells us the tradition of a speaker feigning resistance when being escorted to the chair stems from a historical fear of the speaker's role and potential danger. In early parliament, speakers were essentially puppets of the monarch, and some were even beheaded for not complying with the crown's wishes. This created a perception that the speaker's position was precarious and that the speaker should be cautious and reluctant to take the role. Yikes. Obviously, this hasn't happened in Canada, where the speaker has been beheaded. But doing more research here, this is an article written in 2009. And it says, because it says on Monday, June 22, MPs, this is 2009, in Britain, in England, will elect a new speaker after Michael Martin became only the second holder of the office to be forced out by his fellow members following his handling of the expenses furor. Again, 2009 in England. Journalists have reported with glee that as many as 7 previous speakers were executed. But can any parallel be drawn between the downfall of Michael Martin and those of his predecessors? Of the executed speakers, so in times past, there have been 7 previous speakers executed. But this writer, Anne Leon, says none was speaker at the time of his execution, still less executed for performing the functions of his office. So they weren't really executed because of what they did in the office, but it was after the fact. 3 ex-speakers were executed during the reign of Henry VIII, the best known being Sir Thomas More. He had been Speaker of the 1523 Parliament, but was not executed until 1535, after he was accused of denying the king was the legitimate head of the church. Anyway, so it's kind of nice. It's nice to see this kind of. It's nice to see this kind of fake feigning. There it is coming in. I don't want it. No, fake feign. That's kind of fun. All right. I just thought that was kind of a fun little exercise. The parliament having fun, then no doubt they'll get down to business. I don't like the real adversarial nature sometimes, or the mean adversarial nature. I think they are opponents. It's good to challenge the government of the day. Sometimes it gets mean. And it's very rare that you'll have a government, opposition government agreeing with the government. Even though it's going to be interesting to see, because Mark Carney has said pretty much he's going to do the things that Poilievre said he was going to do. Build the homes, cut the budget, stop the crime, cut taxes. So when he's doing these things, is the opposition going to agree? Are they going to sign up? Are they? Excuse me. I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll be a refreshing change if they do. All right, guys. So that's unpontificated for today. Yeah, let me know what you think of the governor general, lieutenant governor positions. Should they be scrapped? Are you happy that we're a constitutional monarchy that differentiates us from the US? And I'd be interested to know what everyone thinks. All right. Guys, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. God bless you all. Bye bye.